The beat stop. Hold on. Yo. It's 12 siblings. Not 12 disciples. At least not yet. Jackson, Mississippi, that's where it went popping. Straight albums dropping and straight jaws locking. People on the top trying to hit them up, man. Came from Idella, that wasn't the plan. But even in then, God had his own plan. He had Emakazi born in that whole thing. And then the whole family, they all loved each other. Different brothers, different sisters, light skin, dark skin, all different colors. But they all belonged to one another. They had to grow up kind of poor. They didn't have the cheese and all kinds of things to make it more. So they relaxed and they made it on that. And that's okay because the whole family Jackson made it through that. And the whole fact is, they ain't even maybe related to Michael Jackson. But they kept it all happening. And the love was real. And they kept it super chill. And they hooked up food on the grill. For real. Let me get some chicken, maybe some burgers, some hot dogs, something delicious. Because I really need it. I ain't trying to be out here and listen to this music. I just want to be to it. And I know there's abusing in the world, but I ain't gonna give in. Cause I gotta stay hard, spitting hot bars like I'm straight up reptar, shooting hot flames. Man, it's so insane. Emakazi was a hot young fire, couldn't be tamed. She broke out at the age of 18, did her whole thing and walked all up on the scene. Went to Indiana, went with the plan, and she had to go in like a whole diorama. Went and met John Kazi, the other brothers loved her, but she was like, nah, I'm cool off of y'all, I won't even hug ya. So she just chilled and waited for the cookies and coke. Ate it all up, and it was like, whoa, I am the last one to receive it all. John Kazi, man, what's the deal? You don't love me at all. Man, I'm out. So she left and she ran on out. But John Kazi had to chase it because he had his doubts. So he went after her and loved her, embraced her and hugged her. Talked about the kingdom and showed her different things she ain't never seen. See, that's what this all is. So they went to midweek. And they learned about the biz of the ministry. Jesus Christ was #1, and they just had a lot of fun, and they just played in the sun. And different nights, he would walk her to her dorms, and it felt like it was the norm, but he kept going and on. Dropping bombs, dropping the love. Had to hold it down for the who's. That's my town full of love, giving hugs. That's what it is. Young kids running around in love, and they started the biz. The ministry called them. By the age of 30, John Kazi got dirty, and he gave up his whole life. Decided to leave the whole Mustang and strife, and decided to go into his whole life with his wife. And so they went to Indiana, started the plan. Tyra Kazi was born to the woman and man, and then they decided, man, we should go on. And then they moved to Chicago. Then they dropped the J-bomb. Jay Kazi was born in '89. Yeah, that's me. The only reason I'm representing this rap is because of them. You see, it was their love that came from above. That was the reason I could feel like I could move on to stuff. So move up and fast forward to '98. Jay Kazi was only 8 years old, but it wasn't too late to add another sibling that would show him a lot of love. It was little baby Taylor, came out the arms with hugs. Yo, and she was only 9 years old. Jay didn't like her, but he was like, man, let's just go. Let's see how this thing will go. Let's see how this thing will roll. Baby Taylor grew up, even with the ear infection and stuff. But that's okay, because she grew up with a lot of love. Ended up giving and never would stop this stuff. She was so beautiful. Half Italian, half black, not whack. Just even inside of all that. Then the family moved to Seattle. There was no cattle. It was kind of different from the things that they had ever seen before. And all of them had to get their money from doing their chores, like $1 a day. And Jay would make it grow by keeping it and saving it. And he was just slaying it. And he was just moving the leaves by raking them. And he did what his mom told him. That's all she needed. In his heart, he wasn't bleeding. But at 16 years old, he knew he needed Christ, knew he had to rearrange his life and make some different things right. It was like he would go to school and cuss and give up a fuss and start all kinds of different random kinds of stuff. It was rough. But it didn't in there, because baby Jay didn't care. He just knew he had to lift his hands in the air and live right for Christ, because that was the only way to be a young kid. J-A-C. Not 3, but 4, finished his chores. And after he went after Christ, he went in for more. He had to decide to get Greg and maybe change the side of his head and make him rearrange his life instead of living the way that he was. Showing different people love on the streets. That wasn't any way to live, because Jesus Christ had died for both of them. So they just both decided to go in and change the whole high school from within. And then Tyra came on the scene, straight up kind of having trouble busting out of the scenes, but the family told me this, okay, because they could get it all in the style, and it was just wow. And even after that, Jay went on the campus, went to the 808 where he made stuff happen. And the plans were, there were no plans. He just knew that he had to be a different man, and a plan with no sand. Just holding his hands together and pray to God and pray and ask for him for whatever. And now my mind is kind of slipped, but that's okay, because God still had a plan. It's going to keep on going anyway. And then he went from Hawaii and he came back home, and it felt like he was alone, but he wasn't alone. He had his family, and he could call them all up on the phone, and it was a different ringtone for each of them because he loved them. And even in that, they went into ICC. The greatest decisions they could ever make, because you see, they needed to rearrange the way they were living and get to giving and just live in a different way with beautiful types of ribbons. And this package was happening. It was like Kim McKee made it all cracking, was happening. Then Ricky straight up got invested, yo, and then he got straight up infected with this love for his boy Jay. Had to raise him up, show him love, make sure that he could be thrown up in the kingdom, and spit it like it is, and just be a young kid just minding his own biz. Mustache just like this across his face, no taste, really was kind of crazy. Anyways, I'll just say Jay had to keep it clean, doing his bartender scene on the side just to get through these things, but still do the ministry and do a Bible talk and Bible talk it up until it felt like it was Bible chalk. Tell him like it was, because it was the Bible rapping. I would get down just like that, just to lay down the facts. Romans, or maybe 2 Timothy 3:16, that tells you that all these things that God breathed, so easy to be caught up in this mess. I must address that I need to change the way that I am. So I pulled in Trey into the mix, just like this. A young brother that was all chocolate like Nesquik. Then I got my boy Byron in this, and he just decided to change and rearrange his life. Came from San Francisco. Yo, we gotta keep it like Pepto-Bismol, digestible and going in, so he could change it all within. Then he met Heather Hartman, the girl that changed it all up. And boy, he was starving to some of that love, because she was so beautiful, so pursuitable, and so interesting, and so wonderful she was. A light-skinned beauty that came from above. It was so clear that God had chosen her, but why? Felt like she was beautiful. The girl was a dime, but half the time she couldn't even spit the reasons that she felt the way she did. So it was like, why am I in this biz? I couldn't understand the way that she was thinking, and I felt half of the time in my mind I was straight sinking. But I come back and I go to God in straight prayer, and if I knew I was gonna beat this dragon, I was about to slay her, take her down like I'm hunting the layer, about to understand the way that I'm just saying what I'm saying. See, I'm just trying to be real, trying to make sure that I can chill with this girl who's God's will. And I know that she's chosen, and I know that she's wonderful, and I know that she's a token, and I know that if I lose, I can put another quarter before it's game over. I just feel like I gotta keep going, you know what I'm saying? So I would tell her like it is, Smokey Joe's Cafe. That's just like half of my biz. Half the other things I have to do is all for the ministry. But I know that I can smile and I can show all my teeth, because God is real.